All right, guys, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Got the Week 13 core plays here for you. This should be a fun one. This should be an exciting one. Let's get into it. So just want to talk about the 9 to 5 page real quick, then we'll get into the core plays. Try to trim down the video a little bit more for you guys as well. But just want to talk about the new 9 to 5 page homepage for NFL DFS. I got the cheat sheet there, got the QB projections, got the RB projections, got the receiver projections, tight end projections, and lineup builder as well. The lineup builder should be live on Saturday. We'll see about that. Still working out a little bit of kinks on there, but that should be good to go either next week or this week, hopefully. We'll see. But talking about the quarterbacks here, this is kind of the breakdown of the page. It's very easy to use. Got the super simple breakdown here for you guys as well. And then we got the more in-depth breakdown. I already have it sorted out for the video purposes here. So let's actually get into the quarterback plays for this week. All right, guys. So the quarterback plays that we're going to want to really start off with are going to be the three that I had pulled up there. So we'll look at Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Colt McCoy. Those are going to be my three go-tos. So Colt McCoy I kind of just doing there because he's a good value play. Look at his plus minus. It's one of the best on the slate here with that 7.05. That's one of the best on the slate, if not the best, for a guy that's going to be a starting quarterback at that price point. That's something that I really do like. 4.8 for him. That's a very, very solid price point. Now, obviously, his DK projections aren't that high because he's really only played in one game so far this year, so can't really juice that up too much. But we'll talk about quarterback Aaron Rodgers and why I like him a ton. Got the DK projection there of around 24 DK points. I think that is very, very solid for Aaron Rodgers in this one. He is really the only safe option that we have this week at the quarterback's position here. Just looking at the other high-end plays, they're all in tougher matchups than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been very consistent really this whole year, except for that game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Every other start has been over 18 DK points, and really he's only had 3 starts that haven't been over 23 DK points or lower. Got him projected to score right around 24 DK points, and like I said, really the best matchup out of any player on that high end here, and I'll pull that up here on the quarterback screen real quick as well. So this is what I mean here, guys. So Russell Wilson, a minus matchup. Kyler Murray, really a minus matchup. You got Deshaun Watson in a minus matchup. Herbert in a minus matchup. So really Aaron Rodgers, who's been one of the safest quarterbacks so far this year, really just kind of the best play on the high end for those guys. I will say Ryan Fitzpatrick, I do like a ton as well. If he's going to be starting again this week, it's going to be tough for me not to play him at that price point going against the Bengals. The Bengals are about a push matchup wise, but I think that's going to be a strong play as well this week. All right, guys, let's move into the running backs here. So I already got them pulled up as well here for you guys. So we're looking at Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Austin Ekeler, and David Montgomery. I'll give you guys a second to try to guess which of these guys is actually going to be my core play that I'm going to bring up in this video. 9 to 5 members probably already know because I touched on them for the showdown slate, and that's kind of a giveaway. It's going to be actually David Montgomery here. So I'll pull up David Montgomery now. So David Montgomery actually has one of the better, actually the best plus minus matchup on the slate at 9.7. So running backs against the Detroit Lions are seeing 9.7 more DK points to their average against the Detroit Lions. That is absolutely crazy. So, David Montgomery, he kind of missed a couple of games, so that kind of hurts his DK average a little bit. I have him right around 14 DK points this week, which at this price point is very solid. And, we're getting a guy that's going to get at least 20 touches. He has super high usage for 5.5, an elite matchup at elite price point. That is just way too cheap for me to pass up on this week on this slate. And then I will say, the tough part on this slate is Dalvin Cook's in a great spot. One of the better spots this week going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He should absolutely dominate. Now, he didn't last week in probably one of the better matchups, but he fumbled. He also got injured, and we're still kind of waiting to see on some injury news for him this week as well, but I think he'll be a strong play. You got Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb going against each other. Now, that could actually end up hurting them where it's just a ground game, and it kind of bleeds out the clock a little bit, so their upside's a little bit capped, but I still see both of those guys scoring right around 20 DK points as well. So those 3 players are safe plays, but really, I kind of find myself going with Austin Ekeler a lot as well. 7.1 for him. He looked great in his first game back. Look at the 3 games he's played with Justin Herbert as well. He saw double-digit targets in 2 of them and 4 targets in another one of those. So if you're giving a running back a nice solid floor like that target-wise, it's going to raise up their average on a weekly basis. And, I expect Austin Ekeler to score right around 18 DK points this week as well. All right, guys, let's move into the receivers now. I already got this sorted out for you. There's a lot more receivers on this slate, though. So we'll talk about them. Devontae Adams, I could have included DK Metcalf as well, but I really like Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Allen Robinson, Devonta Parker. So Devonta Parker, once again, if Fitzpatrick is the quarterback one for the Miami Dolphins, Parker is going to be very tough for me not to kind of, I don't want to say the lock word, but he's going to be a really strong play once again this week. We saw him get a ton of targets last week, double-digit targets last week, 9 targets the week before that, both weeks with Ryan Fitzpatrick as a quarterback. We saw at the end of the year with Preston Williams out and with Ryan Fitzpatrick as a quarterback, Devonta Parker was a top 10 receiver. I expect that to happen once again this season. We have them going against the Cincinnati Bengals in this one, which is a plus matchup for opposing receivers this year. They're seeing about 1.6 more DK points per game in this matchup. But the real play I want to touch on, I could have went with Sterling Shepard again this week. Guy's just too cheap for the targets he's getting. He's too consistent for that price point. I just don't really get it. But the core play I'm going to mention in this one is actually going to be, drum roll, Robert Woods. Okay, so Robert Woods, I do like a lot. So I got it marked here. Eye-popping price point. I mean, it really was, guys. You just look at the targets he's had the last 2 weeks, and I'm like, all right, this guy's going to be probably, 1,000 more than he is. And I was just shocked at this price point. Great price point. You look at his targets over the past, month. It's been 10 targets per game, and that's led him to have a scoring average of over 20 DK points over the last month as well. Pretty strong matchup there as well. Receivers are seeing 2.3 more fantasy points per game to their average against the Arizona Cardinals. They have been giving up around 40 DK points to opposing receivers, which ranks out bottom 10 in the league as well. Robert Woods is poised for a strong week this week. At that price point, it's going to be tough for me to ignore. And then just to give you guys some bonus value plays here, Sterling Shepard I just talked about Sterling Shepard, but Golden Tate in that same game as well. Kind of a revenge game narrative. He saw one of his most snap counts in the last 5 weeks. Last week, around 57% of the snaps. He had 8 targets. Kind of a revenge game. Good spot for him, obviously, going against the Seattle Seahawks. And then Darnell Mooney, still been getting a ton of targets. Good matchup. Just a cheap price point for that matchup and the targets that he has been getting. Then we'll close it off here with the tight end. So there's really only one tight end that I like on the site, and I'll start with him. So if I'm playing Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback, I want to find a way to get the pieces in his offense in there as well. You could go with Devontae Adams. The dude has been, great the past 3 years, very consistent. Each and every week that you can play Devontae Adams in your cash build, you probably should do it. But for tight end purposes, I actually do like Robert Tonyan a decent amount as well. 4th highest projected tight end on this slate scoring wise. So, I like that aspect of him. And, he had double-digit DK points the last 2 weeks. That's very solid as well. You just look at the other tight ends on the slate. There isn't a tight end that really stands out to me at all. Darren Waller is in a good, spot here. He should be able to get there. I just hate the price point. Hunter Henry, not the best matchup. TJ Hawkinson, don't really love the price point. Or Evan Ingram for the inconsistency there, although Ingram had always been seeing the targets. Now the production is finally starting to follow. So, it is priced up a decent amount, but I could see a lineup path where you're doing like a Colt McCoy, Ingram, Shepard, Tate stack, where you're just kind of trying to really game stack that game. I could see that happening. And then obviously you have Metcalf and like Chris Carson or something in that stack as well. I could see a path where you do that, or maybe go Russell Wilson instead of Colt McCoy. I get that. But really, guys, there's a bunch of decent plays at tight end, but no real standout plays. Except for Robert Tonyan, given his price point. Kyle Rudolph, one of the strong plays last week, and Tyler Eifert, one of the strong plays last week, value-wise. They both saw their price increase a lot, so I'm a little bit worried about those guys on this slate. But that's all I have for you guys. If you guys want to check out the 9 to 5 Sports page, definitely check it out. It's revamped. Got some good stuff going here, NFL-wise. PGA content is just getting bigger and better each and every week. Same thing for the NFL content here, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. I appreciate it. If you're interested in joining the 9 to 5 Nation, the link is in the description below. It's $10 a month. All right, guys, I'm out. And as always, let's keep cashing. All right, thanks, guys.